What's up? It is 12:30 a.m. Wednesday, October 9th, 2024. Our first tour commences today. Anyone who really likes Mastodon has probably spent some time watching all of their their documentaries, their making of documentaries, some of their on the road stuff, and that kind of inspired me to attempt to do the same. Disclaimer to anyone watching, this is completely DIY. No idea if this is going to be watched by like 5 people or 5,000. If I wasn't held up by so many red lights, I'd already be there at HQ, aka my mother's house, the driveway of which currently occupies our tour van, which is loaded, from what I hear, to the max. Art and Kevin are already there. They've put in a lot of the legwork getting this thing ready. I'm just now getting there, so probably an hour from now we're going to be hitting the road. And let's see. Ooh, there's the van right there. Sexy. Okay, cool. Bang bus?
Bang bang?
I did that to... Oh, I had that picture.
Yeah.
Passport.
There you go. Don't wear your shoes in there.
Okay.
Unless you're in the front,
Yeah.
Don't wear the shoes in there. Just try to keep it as clean as we possibly can.
I'll take my shoes off before I get settled in.
My shoe spray's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, nice shot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Did you bring your costume in?
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
We have a 15-and-a-half-hour drive. That's just the drive, no breaks. We're going straight to Portland. We play in Portland tonight. Lost in Infinity North American Tour. It should be pretty cool.
Suck my motherfucking dick!
"16 and a half hours in the van, including, a handful of breaks. Hardest day. The rest should all be cake. The longest drive will be, maybe half of that." So, what you getting?
Fucking fine. I'm gonna shit it out pretty soon, though.
The drive through Oregon was pretty epic. I think we chose the right time to go on tour. Fall, going through Oregon, man. I mean, it actually looks like fall. All the trees, all shades of green and orange. Don't see much of that in LA.
How's it going, guys? My name is Jeremy Perez, and I am the lead guitarist for Vexum.
What's up, guys? Kevin from Vexum here.
I'm Art. I play second guitar.
My name's Matt. I'm the drummer with Vexum.
This is our first ever tour with Vexum, and it's been a long time dream of us doing this. So I'm finally glad we were able to get this going. I'm mostly excited to go to Canada and throughout the whole U.S. So this will be a first time thing for me.
It's cool being up here, Pacific Northwest. Never been up here before. Very pretty trees. It's nice and cold. Very pretty rivers. It's nice.
We're not just doing some little piddly, mini tour up and down California. We're going all the way around the western half of the country. It's pretty rad, if you ask me. Last night in Portland, there was a decent turnout. Any town is going to pop off on a Wednesday night. Portland might be one of them. I'm not expecting, huge turnouts for each show, but I think we've been around long enough that some people in each town will know who we are. Just enough for someone to say, oh, okay, that looks like a cool show. I'll go to that. Each show might have its own local crowd.
Fucking second day on tour. I'm going to be playing in Eugene, Oregon today. It's been going great so far.
How do you plan on passing your time during tour?
During tour, if I'm not sleeping, doing something tour related or visiting places. And one of my favorite things to do on my downtime is to fish. I got a nice river we went to earlier today before this show. And I saw stuff out there jumping, but nothing on the hook.
Usually, I just pass the time by drawing. I just draw random stuff like this. It has no rhyme or reason or anything whatsoever. But it gets my mind going. Pretty much when we have like nothing to do, I just like to pass the time by just doodling whatever I can. But yeah, it's one of my favorite pastimes.
Ridiculous. I got inches right here. I got Matt right here. Got the centimeters on this side.
Usually for my pre-show rituals, I like to take about 20-25 minutes to get all stretched out from head to toe, basically. So when I'm up there, I'm not cramping up or anything or all stiff. As I can see, playing death metal, playing thrash metal, you got to have a lot of energy and you got to be able to move around, be real flexible, especially with headbanging. After that, I spend about 45 minutes to an hour just warming up with scales, stretching out my fingers, making sure I'm up to par. Because you can't go up there and just be half-assed, and you got to be in the pocket when you're doing this shit.
I warm up on my guitar for like about a good 20 or 30 minutes. And then afterwards, when I'm all warmed up with my hands, I do a little bit of stretching. I do stretching for about 5 to 10 minutes or so just to get all warmed up.
I like to stretch a little bit. I probably don't stretch enough, but I try and touch my toes a little bit, stretch my legs, stretch my arms. And then I like to step outside a few minutes before we're on and just choose a song that's going to pump me up. As of late, it's been Firepower Kills. It gets me energized. It gets me in the right frame of mind.
I'm starting to stretch my hand out more because it's been cramping while we've been playing lately. But as far as anything else, I kind of, just make sure I don't have any boogers.
This one's about Minecraft. If you like Minecraft, shout out to you. Play some Skyrim.
All right, guys, we are in Seattle. We are right below the Space Needle. So we're just chilling up in here in Washington. This is our first time here. It's very cold out here.
Seattle, they always have a good, strong scene up there. All my friends that have gone through there, they've always told me it's been great turnouts. I've never been personally, so I'm looking forward to it.
Hopefully this Pacific Northwest Death Fest goes off because that guy's been promoting like a motherfucker and just been posting it like every other day.
Bremerton should be cool. I have high hopes for that one just because of, the promotion that's been going on for that show.
Be careful who you trust! You might just get a jogger in the back! Get this shit spinning!
Boxes or briefs?
I would definitely go for briefs. Briefs are much more comfier around the chap area. No chafing it whatsoever.
Boxers or briefs?
Boxers.
Why?
I don't like how briefs ride up on my ass.
Boxers or briefs? Briefs. I like my packages secured. Boxers or briefs?
Boxers. I like to let them dangle.
My favorite thing about being in a van is getting to see the different areas around the states, especially like the nature parts. It's very, very relaxing and beautiful and all that stuff.
Fucking sleeping in the back, laying down, not doing anything. So far.
My least favorite? My least favorite is being co-pilot. There's only so many topics you can talk about during like an 8-hour drive. So it's just dead silent the whole time and you're just basically trying to stay awake while keeping the other driver awake. So not very fun. Not very fun.
Having to sleep in the driver's seat.
Tour diet. Pizza. And rock stars. And Monster.
Shit. Fucking awful. I've been drinking a lot of energy drinks, not much else.
Honestly, I've actually tried to have somewhat of a balanced diet. It's probably not that great of a diet, but it's not all McDonald's. When I'm snacking, it's beef jerky, hot Cheetos. I've had a lot of bangs. That's what I drink to keep myself awake. I've had some apples, some carrots, some bananas.
My tour diet? Well, it's kind of hard. Usually I try to eat as much green and least carbs as I can, but unfortunately this tour that didn't happen so well. because we're usually pretty in a rush to get to our destination and try to do other things on the road. Time management.
Some of my apples were taken away by the border patrol at the Canadian border. We got lectured by the guy for having those after we told him no to having fruit. Every day on tour gets to be pretty routine. The clock sort of resets as soon as the show ends. The show ends, you get off stage, you talk to the promoter, the other bands, the new friends and fans that you've made throughout the night. And then you finish packing up the van and you head out. You don't wait for the next morning to then get going to the next destination. You take off immediately, get as far as you can through the night. That way, if you encounter any problems on the road, it's not affecting your ability to get to the next show on time. Once we would get going, our first destination would either be food or it would be the nearest Planet Fitness. That way, whoever wants to take a shower could do so. Typically, the first thing we would do when we pulled into the gig, we would scope out the venue, figure out our plan of attack, and then we would unload the van. 3 cabs, 3 heads, 3 pedals, several guitars, my monstrosity of a drum kit, and several bags of merch. Canada was unique because in an effort to avoid any hassle at the border, we stuffed all of our merch into my bass drum.
Canada has to be one of my favorite shows so far during the tour. Oh my goodness. All right.
Canada was a big surprise. I had set my expectations to 0. We had a pretty good turnout. Turns out they only have 3 or 4 metal shows every year, if even that. So they're pretty hungry for it when someone comes, especially a band from, California, even Los Angeles. So they were real happy to have us. They want us back.
I thought that was art. Fucking duck. All right. Okay. So far, Canada has to be one of my favorite shows. It is my first time out of the country playing a show with Vexum. Everyone was so nice. It's a small area. It's called the Grand Forks. It was a venue called 4th Street Studio. Everyone was just so nice and so supportive and chill. and I've never been up in Canada before, so this one's definitely going to go in the books.
Well, every night, I mean, we've had like a nice stage at least, and we've been able to sound check. I've been able to hear my voice every night, so I'm not fucking screaming my throat out like how it is a lot of the times in local shows, local to LA. But at least every night, you know, it's been a cool stage, and if not, you know, good monitors, things like that.
So you want to know all about tour life? Well, this is it. Living out of a fucking van, crammed in this thing pretty much most hours of the day. Let's see. That's your pilot's seat right there. Art spends most of the time there. We all kind of switch driving. We all kind of switch co-pilot, but you know, you got your snacks, toilet paper. You've got Ozium for every time we fucking fart. Toilet paper for all your toilet paper needs. You've been saving receipts in case the IRS ever comes after us. You know, business expenses. We've had this pack of Gatorades for the entire trip now. We've stuffed some various drinks, energy drinks and such under that little guy. Both of these benches, that's where, you know, people sleep at night, as the other two are piloting and co-piloting. So this is generally a big mess of blankets, pillows, and the like. Always disorganized. This I usually have stuffed up there, but you know, this is my big old bag of shit. Got all my dirty clothes in a big old trash bag stuffed into my bag. Romance and desire. Just to keep it smelling nice. All of our musical shit is stuffed in the back. All of it. I don't know how we managed it, but you know, each night somehow it gets much more roomier and roomier. So, yeah, this is where we've been living for the past week almost.
Every day we find somewhere to kind of, you know, freshen up, which is essentially, because we've been, you know, showering after every show at like a Planet Fitness or whatever, but you know, you still spend all this time in the van, gets hot, muggy in here, you know, freaking sleep, your hair gets messy. So, you know, the next morning you want to wake up, find somewhere to throw on some deodorant again, brush your teeth like we just did. Right in the crack. Maybe brush your hair, just, you know, repair yourself. It's good for the spirit. So yeah, if you can handle all that, if you can handle, you know, the smell of shoes, which we try to mitigate, and shit everywhere, and not being able to sleep very comfortably, then maybe you can make it during tour.
Do it. Do it.
I'll just stab you right here, right fucking now. No, but...
Everything's catching up late.
So we're in Denver, Colorado today. Today's Tuesday the 15th, and don't know what to expect tonight. Last few nights have been great. They've been kick-ass.
I mean, so far the best crowd was yesterday. And where the fuck we were yesterday?
Salt Lake.
No, we weren't in
Ogden.
Yeah, the best crowd so far was last night in Ogden, just because they had a bit of a bigger pit. But my favorite place to play was Bremerton so far. The stage was fucking awesome. It is Bremerton, right? Bremerton.
Idaho Falls, that was a cool place. We had a turnout. It was a Sunday night, but a lot of kids came. A lot of them came for their local band, band by the name of Oblivion. But yeah, they liked us. It was cool. It was fun. Last night in Utah also kind of surprised me. I had also set my expectations there to zero, but we had a pretty good turnout. A lot of the people were there for the local bands, but they ended up really liking us. We made a lot of friends and fans there, so you know, we definitely hope to be back to the Salt Lake area.
Lately I've been listening to a lot of Cannibal Corpse as per usual, but on the drive over here to Denver we were blasting fucking Ride the Lightning.
Iron Maiden all the way.
Shit. Most brutalest shit I could find on the phone for now. That or some fucking gangster rap. Annoy everybody else.
Quite honestly, I haven't been doing any driving this whole tour, so I've just been listening to pretty much everyone else's playlists during the tour.
Denver was fun to visit, but unfortunately it was one of the least successful shows of the whole tour. There were only a few people in the crowd. It was really just a glorified practice. That being said, among the whopping 4 people in the crowd was former Vexum guitarist and original member Brian Castaneda. Brian relocated to Denver in the last couple years, so this show gave us the opportunity to reconnect, and you got to see where the band is now.
Sleeping in my bed, all nice and dark with my dog.
The first thing I'm going to do when I get home, take a good, nice shower and sleep.
It's sleep. Sleep.
Hugging Viv, hugging Luca. I miss the hell out of them. Love them to death, and I haven't seen them in far too long. This is the longest I've ever gone without seeing either one of them. So I'm gonna give them both a big fat hug, big fat kiss, and yeah, just spend the entire day with them.
All right, so my favorite thing about being in the van is when I'm driving, I get to see all the different sites we pass through, especially like the mountains. Mountains are some of my favorite things to see. So peaceful. And my least favorite thing, hearing you 3 motherfuckers snore when I'm trying to drive or try to go to sleep, because I'm sleeping in the driver's seat.
My favorite thing about being in the van is seeing all the scenery as we're passing through each state, especially when it gets real foresty, real mountainy. I love the mountains, I love the forest, so I also like the canyons. It's all just really pretty to look at. My least favorite thing about being in the van, trying to get comfortable and sleepy and not being able to get comfortable, not being able to fall asleep. What's your favorite crime?
My favorite crime? Arson. Because it's lit.
My favorite crime is arson. I get to burn shit up.
Bank robbery is it. If I was gonna choose a life of crime, definitely a good old-fashioned bank heist, North Hollywood style. You know, full-on suit of armor, all black, machine guns, everything.
My favorite crime? Shit, if it was a crime to blow up that fucking toilet I did yesterday, then that's probably it.
Tell us about that.
Well, you guys ever watch Breaking Bad? We decided to pay a visit to Tuco's headquarters, which happens to be a breakfast spot. Well, just like the show, I fucking blew up the toilet like that building went, and the fucking thing flooded.
So we're sitting out on the sidewalk in front of a place called Java Joe's, which was featured in the show Breaking Bad. That was Tuco's headquarters in the first season, and one of the first major scenes in the series was where Heisenberg takes I forget what the chemical is, but he chucks it at Tuco and it blows up the place.
This is not meth.
We're sitting down at this table, just enjoying our morning, eating some breakfast, and Art comes out, and he's just laughing, and he's just like, dude, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And we're like, why? So, I just flooded the toilet. So, yeah, we picked up and left before anybody could come out and chase us. And we realized right away, wait a minute, you blew up Tuco's headquarters just like in the show. That was great.
I think I'd have to say my favorite shows, probably I'd say Seattle and Grand Forks are probably my favorite shows, and Utah as well. But it's kind of hard to choose a particular one, but those are probably my top 3 right there. But let's see how tonight happens in Arizona.
What they put is like you sing the first couple.
During the car ride to Arizona, we were watching Hell's Kitchen.
I've been in the deep fat fryer. Don't fucking lie. I know what they did. You know the oven's not even hot enough to roast a potato. We can't even...
There was a scene where Gordon Ramsay just tips over a big bucket full of ground beef, and it was just a bunch of brown slop. And I don't know why, but it just made me laugh as I was chewing a mouthful of beef jerky, and it just my beef jerky just sprayed all over the dashboard.
This is another one off our last album. This one's called Abysmal Face.
We are in LA, our hometown, and we are playing at the Slipper Clutch. This is our last day on tour. The show I liked the most on tour was Utah. We had the best crowd reaction so far at that show. Definitely one of my favorites, yeah.
Canada was definitely a standout simply because it was Canada and it was our first time out of the country. Utah, the energy was great, the crowd was killer, lots of moshing, which is always, it was one of those shows where, you know, we feed off of the energy of the crowd and the crowd feeds off of the energy of us. So, you know, it's just a great, sweaty, energetic, metal show.
I want to give a huge shout out to Chaoticus from Denver, Colorado. They were definitely a really cool band that I liked the most, especially when they covered Crust Beneath the Tracks by Warbringer. That was fucking awesome.
The way they played it, it was very technically proficient. They nailed that song, and you know, their own material did not disappoint. It was just as good as the cover that they were playing.
Toaster from fucking from Canada. They gave me a sticker and it said Toaster, but it looked like Toys R Us, and I have it on my base case. I thought that shit was sick. Cthulhu. Always the homies in Cthulhu.
And another shout out goes to Sabotage. Those guys were awesome. They were from Utah. You guys were really cool dudes.
All the bands in Utah were pretty cool. They were real friendly.
Trying to think of more. Violent Insurrection.
So it was day 2 on tour. We were in Eugene, Oregon. We were loading in for our set, and I was helping Art with his cab, and I misstepped on one of the stairs and I accidentally tripped. So I fell backwards and I hit my head on the bench. And I didn't want to look like a dumbass, so I just jumped straight back up just so I, didn't look like I get hurt or anything like that.
I watched the whole thing. It was like in slow motion. He like backwards spun off and just slow motion fell off the riser and face planted a table. I watched the whole thing. I had time to react, but my hands were full, so there was nothing I could do about it.
So the best advice I could give on tour is keep your feet clean, because foot smell is very disgusting. I know, because I have very smelly feet.
Advice for bands, try not to smell. Try not to fucking fart too much in the van. Take a shower whenever you can.
And another thing is have a lot of patience, because being stuck in a van with 3 other guys, it could be a little nutty.
Patience. Just have a lot of patience, because that's all you're going to be able to have when you're out there.
Get your sleep when you can too, definitely. That fucking helps a lot. Keeping you all, so you're not all fucking like, keeping your sleep on makes a hell of a difference. I remember when we played in New Mexico, I think I had 2 beers at like noon or some shit, and I fucking knocked out till like 30 minutes before our set time. That was it. I don't know what the fuck happened. I had 2 beers and then I fucking slept in the back of the van, and then I think Art or Jeremy went like shook my leg and were like, hey, it's almost time. And I'm like, huh? How long was I asleep? Long time, dude. Yikes.
Set your expectations at 0, especially if you're playing on a weeknight in a new place. Nobody knows who you are. You might be playing to 0 people. You might be playing to 3 people, but just go into it with all of the heart that you can, because those 3 people might talk to their friends, and those 3 people might show up at your next show in that town. They might bring some of their friends, and that's how it starts.
Don't do school. Stay in drugs.
Nice to meet you, Bort. I'm Myra.
I'm going home.
You're going home?
Yeah.
Oh shit. We're doing some silly little interviews.
Yeah.
We're doing home videos.
Yeah.
What's up, my boy?
Shit, am I interrupting something? I'm so sorry.
No. We're just gonna keep rolling. What motivates me? Money. No, I'm kidding.
Feeling what the crowd's feeling. You get a good emotional spot or like a heavy spot, and everyone else is vibing with you. Pretty fucking dope. Love that shit.
Something that motivates me is my family and friends. My lovely girlfriend, Viv.
The biggest motivation for me is when people at the shows come up to me and say, oh, we're dying to see you guys. Like, I can't wait to see you guys play. That really pumps me up. That really, it's such a positive thing to hear. So whenever I hear that, like, I want to give like the show like 120% of what I do.
I also like doing all of this because, I don't know, maybe because 20 years from now when I'm, fat and bald and ugly, and old and incapable of doing all this for whatever reason, you know, I could show pictures and videos of all of this to, you know, my kid, and maybe he'll think I was kind of cool. Throughout our band's history, a lot of people have loved our music, our shows enough to keep on coming to our shows, and you know, we've made a lot of friends and fans on the way.
Fucker.
Oh, you motherfucker! That's your dog.
Fucker.
And that's how I blew ass one time. It was a loss. Ah, fucker! Ow. You got a bit of like my bone.
Oh shit, my bad.
It's okay. Kind of jiggle a bit.
That's all bad, dude.
Like
Visit Seattle. We already did.
I'm so fucking awkward.